We are live. We are live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies? We got
YouTube, Facebook.
yes indeed, and Instagram. Hey, and the poetess, shout out for poetess before we get started from last week because she was tapping in on Instagram, but I didn't see her. We didn't see her, but I'm ready this time. I'm gonna look on Instagram on the phone, and we're still getting a few pieces together, so we'll have everything up on the same screen. All right. So, gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, better than last week.
Huh,
Interesting.
huh, that's a good thing. So we was on this West Coast hip hop, right? And the evolution of the West Coast hip hop. This will be part four. We was still in the year 1991. Probably get into 92, but 91 was a big year. So, KB, you want to start it off with who you want to
Yeah, we
jump off
could.
with?
Okay, I'm gonna name some names, and we could dig into it because the West Coast is vast. All right, so we kind of still in '91. We had to go back to '91. Last week we talked about Cypress Hill and how Cypress Hills made their debut self-titled album in 1991, which to me was the tsunami point in hip hop for them guys. Also in '91, we could touch on it was NWA Ends for Life. Uh, Death Certificate was Ice Cube solo venture. I believe that was his EP. He did that up at Echo Sound, I believe. DJ Quick is the name. AMG Be Better Have My Money, that project. And yeah, we could talk around that real quick. We could talk about Quick. We'll dig into the evolution of gangster rap. Or we'll just talk about hip hop in
Let's hip hop
general. You
as
know
a
what I mean?
whole.
I don't like really saying I really don't like calling it like one thing, because I look at it all as hip hop. You know what I mean? Some people may categorize it, some people may break it down, which there is a lot of different categories in this vast thing we call hip hop. But we could jump into the Ice Cube, DJ Quick. Actually, let's jump into DJ Quick and AMG.
Mm.
Um, you wanna jump into that? This was Quick is the name. That was, I think the first single was Tonight's the Night. Was Tonight's the Night the first single? Or no, what was the first single on that album?
That's
Born and raised in Compton.
Born and Raised. Born and Raised was the first single, and what was it
uh,
called? Last Night or Tonight's the Night? What was the second single
nice tonight.
called?
Hey, I'm
All
gonna
right.
pop off for 1 second so I can start Instagram. I'll be right back.
You want to touch in on the DJ Quick era and how that inspired or how that motivated the boogie scene, or was that part of the scene you was in?
It wasn't as far as boogieing. It wasn't until uh, Quick's later, more musical album singles that we really started. I started boogieing to it.
Okay.
Like later, like was more musical. Like before, like right before the Tony collaboration, and then definitely after.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, they was right around the corner from us at the time.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Let me look something up real quick.
Yeah, quick. Oh yeah, when it was yeah, when we was off of Crenshaw and Florence.
We was on Crenshaw. It actually off. That was the main street, but that was our cross street, Crenshaw and Florence. But
Yeah,
we was one block west, which was Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Huh.
Let me see real quick.
That's my boy AMG. What up, AMG?
Yeah. Yeah, it was doing a thing over there. I remember that time though. DJ Quick, when that album came out, yeah, there was a lot of people in the neighborhood was bumping that one. But I mean, every
Okay.
album Quick put out was a hit. Though. It had a bunch of hits. On
Born and Raised is the first one, the first single, and Tonight was the second single.
it.
Actually, Tonight was probably not even probably. I'm gonna say Tonight was my favorite song on that album. Everybody got a favorite when it comes from it.
Mm,
You know what I mean? But at that
Did
time,
I stepped to
like
that.
we What'd you say?
Hmm?
I did the two step to that, the classic two step to tonight.
Oh yeah,
But I
yeah.
didn't
Tonight,
boogie, like I said, till later singles.
till later on, till when he got like Quick is very musical. He's a very musical
Very
individual.
musical. Very
Very
musical.
musical. He did a lot of work with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? His resume is extensive. But when we at that time, we was around the corner on Florence and Victoria. They was over there at Greedy
Yeah.
Greg house. That was rest in peace. Big Bass Brian was over there. Rest in peace, Yolanda. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of people over there. AMG, the legend has it, AMG was over there. AMG used to walk from, I think, Myrtle in Inglewood all the way over to where the hospital's at, all the way over to 76 and Crenshaw past the graveyard. He said I walked there every day. And I think Courtney and Tracy was a management company and they brought the cassette over there to um to Greedy Greg and AMG. AMG was listening to it and he went to Greg and was like, yo, we gotta go find this dude. We need to go to Compton and get this guy. We need to go get him. Um I
Yeah.
definitely believe that Quick comes from the cloth of the Ruthless cloth. I could have I would have you would have if Quick was on Ruthless, it would have made a lot of sense. You understand what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
Quick was over there at Ruthless Records, I wouldn't have been mad at that. And I would say he was heavily inspired by Easy E's voice. Rest in peace, Easy. You know what I mean? But as far as him being a one-man band, as far as producing,
Yeah.
writing and emceeing and performances, his whole get down. I think he's probably a underrated MC.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
understand? Because they
Yeah.
push him under the gangster category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
they may do true.
then they push him to producer after that.
Right.
They
They don't
put
give
him. They
him that
mount him closer to producer than rap lyricist or MC. Yeah.
but he was to me, but he's a
Now he's a dope
lyricist to me.
lyricist.
Yeah, he's a lyricist
Mhm.
to me, and his concepts was amazing. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely see
Yeah.
the ruthless inspiration. And around that time, Compton's Most Wanted was creeping up. They also went through the avenues of talking to Easy E and all them. Peace to my boy,
Mhm.
the chill. I see you, Playboy. Hub City in the house, MC8, cheer. He got his thing going at Gangster Chronicles and stuff like that. But they was that MC8 is another quote unquote gangster rapper to me that was a lyricist. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see, I see. I'm gonna name a few. I'm gonna name a few quote unquote gangster rappers that I deem to be lyrical. Um, DJ Quick, MC8, Deadly Threat, and Jo Felony. Is
Yeah.
is
Jail
I
fellas.
deem I
So.
yeah I deem them to be very lyrical, very talented, and your affiliation or who you with or the neighborhood you grew up in or the set you come from, it didn't hinder the ability at all. At the same time, down the street from us, it was Afro Man. Afro Man's on 69th and Western, I believe. And inside over there on the north side was South Central Cartel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I do believe, let's get back to Quick and AMG in that campus. Quick is AMG Quick brought in second to none. He brought in
High
his
C.
High C
I
is his
see.
best friend. Yeah, High C. So they had their own little, to me, I seen that camp over there
Mm.
as like a hit squad, like a West Coast hit squad,
Right.
what EPMD had, because it was all different types, all different facets. You had DJ Quick, you had Second to None, you had AMG, you had High C. Later on, and I believe the year is when you go up to 1993, Anti Lewis started Outburst Records over there, and then he introduced the world to Domino. I believe Domino is a Long Beach native, and I think Domino was introduced to the world via through Battle Cat on the Bloods and Crips album. You know what I mean? So he made his debut on that project right
Right.
there. But Quick influenced a lot of people. Dev, I want you to tap in on Quick's production style, I see Quick like an Ohio player type producer,
Mhm.
like a funk producer, just from as an MC. And what I hear, like when I hear certain sounds coming from producers, I can kind of gather their style. I want you to touch in on Quick style and that whole camp sound that he had cultivated over there on 76 and Crenshaw.
You want me to say what's my opinion on his sound?
Yeah,
Is
chime in on his.
I mean, DJ Quick is his sound is it's a universal sound, kind of a cliche word, but to say he's a West Coast sound, you'd be selling him short because he produced
Right.
stuff from the East Coast. He produced R&B. You know what I mean? He produced a lot of hits that people don't even know. Even
He
the song
produced
with
Guns N'
Rakim.
Roses, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that he produced. So his styling is that is very musical, very talented, versatile. I would say, just me, my opinion, it stems more from 70s, 60s funk, just urban music style. And yeah, I mean, it would be hard to say he's West Coast or East Coast. He's a musician, he's a producer and a musician. But he came up under the hip hop, street is where he started at. So, I mean, he was one of the first guys. He talked about like how he was doing stem splitting and all that now, which is
Hmm.
just a certain form of EQing. He's one of the first guys to do that. So, engineer, uh, one of the first guys that because I used to have a mixing style of I like to mix stuff loud, right? Put it on the big
Hmm.
speakers and all that. And everybody was like, "Oh, you got to put it on the little speakers and all this." He was one of the first ones that I seen where he loved mixing on the big speakers. You know what I mean? Then the next thing you know, a lot of other people was mixing on big speakers. Um, but yeah, his style and the camp that he had over there, even all the way up to the 2000s with Mossberg and stuff. It was just
Mossberg was a
all
dope
very
project that he
versatile.
had. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I wouldn't put him on the. He's a producer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Might do
Well,
a Coca Cola commercial. Might do a
he has this classic
his
West
signature
Coast.
sound that
He
people
has his
know him
classic
for.
West Coast bag that he can dig into. And then
Mhm.
he has his universal bag that he could be selfish and just make a West Coast beat if he wanted to.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then what you're saying is he's talented enough to make his sound is so universal. It's a lot of East Coast records that he done. It's a lot of West Coast records that he done. It's a lot of
yeah.
records that he's done, and it's a lot of records
Overseas
that he
European.
he mixed. He mixed the
Yeah,
MC Hammer album on Death Row.
yeah. That's what I was saying.
So he
Like he
did.
does a lot of engineering and all that. So
Yeah.
his if you were to say his signature sound would be, or what he's most known for is yeah, West Coast. Yeah. Like a funk. Uh, Not even really G. Yeah, you could say G Funk era, but he was before that. He just had a funky groove to it, put a throwback
He
funk
he was
to it.
pre G Funk.
Yeah, yeah,
Speaking of G Funk, I think the first actual G Funk record that I heard, besides coming out of the Funky Town Pro Camp, was Mr. Grimm and Warren G. What they were coined it as, because I think Warren G took that sound over to Dre, to
mhm,
that particular sound. You know what I'm saying? I know we jumping the gun, but I
mhm.
would believe you remember that song with Mr. Grimm, right? What was
Yeah.
it
Indo
called?
Smoke.
And those smoke.
Endo
Indo
Smoke.
Smoke.
Yeah, I think Endo
Yeah,
Smoke was probably to me, and Mr. Grimm is from West Covina. A lot of people probably didn't know that.
Mm.
mhm.
And held out of
Yeah,
West Covina and put that on the map. But yeah, Quick definitely influenced a lot of artists. He influenced a lot of producers and a lot of things that people don't know. Let's get to AMG, Mr. B Better Have My Money. Actually, AMG is on all Quick hits.
yeah.
A lot
Oh
of them
well,
on a lot of his hits vocally, and he did a lot of production. And a lot of things that people don't understand is AMG produced his album, his first album. A lot of people thought Quick produced it, but
mhm,
AMG is also an incredible producer, MC. But they look at him more as a rapper, and not a
MC
producer.
versus
It's kind
producer.
of funny how that is. They both produce and they both produce themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they both write their own lyrics. So it's kind of funny how the world, like you said, it'd be kind of mundane just to put him in a box to say, oh, he's just a West Coast producer for both of them.
Yeah,
They see
yeah.
Quick more as a DJ, and they see AMG more as an MC.
See,
You
right.
know, and then we're not going to get into the MC8 and the DJ Quick conflict they
Yeah,
had, but at that time, MC8 was coming up with Compton's Most Wanted. And what was Compton's Most Wanted first single? One Time Gaffle Me Up.
CMW.
CMW was
Uh,
it one time gaffle me up.
I think
Yeah.
that might have been. Yeah, I know that
I
was their
think that
first hit.
I think that was their first single. I believe that was their first single. Like I said, when I talk to
Yeah,
Chill, we'll chop it up and see what's up with it. But definitely, CMW was making noise in Compton after the Ruthless explosion. Coming out of Ruthless was NWA, what JJ Fad, DOC,
straight.
um,
Their first single was Straight Menace.
Straight Menace,
Yeah,
or was Straight Menace off the
'93.
soundtrack?
Yeah, but that's when they
Nah,
first got introduced.
they got their first album dropped 91.
You said
So
MC8, but you talking about if that's CMW?
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's different. Yeah.
CMW. Well, yeah, I'm talking about
Okay.
Compton's
Yeah.
Most Wanted. Well, I think what you're saying is MC8 first single was Straight Menace, which featured on
Yeah.
the Men's to Society soundtrack,
Right.
and that was 1993.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of crazy
This
how
is
you
Oh,
talk.
Compton.
What'd you say? What's up,
This is
Ledge?
Compton in '89 was their first joint.
yeah,
This is
See
yeah,
that
Compton.
that
there?
one. Yeah, that one. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
It was one before that.
Yeah. This is Compton from CMW. CMW first single.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because they was under Unknown DJ. And
Huh.
Unknown DJ had his fingerprints on King T first projects on
Yeah.
Techno. What was it? What was the name of that record label?
Yeah.
Techno hop.
Techno
Techno
Hop.
Hop. Techno Hop. Yeah, and that's crazy because Unknown DJ for a person that's an unknown person, he's very known. And Unknown DJ was actually the creator of the Death Row logo.
Easy 93. Huh.
Yeah, he drew that up. Unknown DJ.
Who-
Peace to Unknown
Right.
DJ and them stinking cigars and them trained German shepherds.
Yeah.
He kept a trained German shepherd with him.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard a few podcasts about those dogs. It's very interesting.
Oh yeah, he trained. Unknown DJ was a
Oh,
what you hear about him?
they ain't to be played with. That's
No,
why
they're
people
not.
over there don't do nothing to them. Because them dogs are trained they get to take you to the upper room, Cuddy.
Oh yeah, and they only move on German commands.
Yeah, yes. I forgot about that part. Yes, you're
They
right.
only move on German commands. And
German commands.
Unknown DJ told me an incident where he had a couple of visitors at his house, and he gave a German command, and the dog would walk in the 5 foot perimeter around him.
Around
Wherever
him.
he
Yeah.
walked, the dog was in a perfect circle around him, ready to
Nobody can
uh
come in that circle. Yeah.
right. Put your dog
Yeah.
up so we could talk. Nah, the dog's
I see that.
fine.
Yeah.
You keep your distance. Yeah.
The dog is definitely fine.
One
You know what
second.
I'm saying? I think a lot of people don't give the credit to West Coast contribution to hip hop like they supposed to. And they make it seem like uh it's just one sided. It's multi sides.
Mhm.
It's a lot of sides to the music. You got consciousness, you have lyrical, you have technical, you have gangster, you have reality. I look at gangster rap basically as reality rap. It's just young dudes in the neighborhood just telling you how it is in their neighborhood. They're not telling you nothing that the news is not telling you. If the news is telling you, if you turn on the news now and it says drive-by shooting or store robbery, is that gangster news or is that just news? It's crazy how they want to put they separate something so powerful. But hip hop to me is such an incredible force where it can use any type of music to make a new style of music, and it's strong enough to also split like an atom into many different categories.
Mhm.
Like I was talking to, I think it was Rhythm, and how he was talking about drill, and uh it's like it's unchanged into some other stuff where I don't look at it as categories. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it as categories where, to me, either you rapping or you singing. If you're not singing and you rapping, Vanilla Ice is a rapper. MC Hammer is a rapper. You know what I'm saying? His name is MC, Master of Ceremonies. Dougie Fresh is an MC. He's a rapper, one of the greatest performers on the
So,
planet.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
Which also in 91 was WC in the Mad Circle, but Dub C also came from Low Profile with DJ Aladdin.
Mm.
It's that time, champ.
mm,
It's that time. It's time to take it down, Playboy.
yeah. So,
Um,
you say you talking about Dub C?
Dub C. Dub C and they come from, they first single with Low Profile was Paying Dues. Was their first one. I think they
Yeah.
was they on Profile Records? Was they Low Profile on Profile Records? That's crazy to be Low Profile on Profile Records. You know what I'm And then him and Aladdin made a great project, and then Dub C bloomed into Dub C in the Mad Circle, and then people know Dub C from the West Side Connect Gang from this day. You know what I mean? Connect Gang, bing, bing, bang, bing, bing.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, I think
which
that's when he really arrived. Like all the components put together.
mhm,
That's when Dub C, like, that's when he came alive.
which Dub C is
Yeah.
also, quote unquote, a gangster rapper, but to me, he's also a lyrical MC. He's
Hmm.
also very technical with his lyrics, and he's been technical and he's been lyrical since day one. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of lyrical MCs that come from certain neighborhoods and certain avenues and certain blocks and certain
Right.
places in the spot. You know what I mean? You want to touch in on some of this, Vish?
No, I'm listening. My thing is when we talking about gangster rap and all these different things, all the stuff is that's it's all different genres and stuff. To me, it's about when you start jumping into going out of your way to shoot, kill a motherfucker, or try to make sure I'm telling you I'm doing some shit for real on whoever right around the corner and really be putting it out there. Like that's where you taking it to something else. But other than that, it's an art form, choices. People have their styles and choices of styles, but if you making it a point to name names and point people out and talk about doing something to them, then that's we not rapping no more. We're not doing hip hop anymore. We just talking shit on like I don't like you, and I just wanted to let the whole world know. 2 weeks later, you wondering why they got the whole hip hop police or some weird shit. But like I said, overall, it's the art form. Somebody
Is
says
that
peace out. So
peace to Mikael? That's crazy. This dude talking about my guy K-Born. I still remember "Step to Me Wrong," which was a dope song. Peace to, is that Mikael?
yeah,
Peace to Mikael. Good dude right there. Peace. Mikael, my guy. You recognize the logo, huh? That's what's up. Anybody up there got some questions? Peace to the soul brother. He said, peace to the legendary the Cuddy Mac. All right,
So
champ, shut the TV off. It's that time.
I would sing my night night song for you, nephew, but I don't want you to hear my melodious voice today.
nah.
He can't, can't,
My
he
son used
can't.
to hate it, boy. He hated that shit.
That's
Okay,
funny. So it's
so
always kick shots. Source awards always got shout outs. Yeah.
oh
So
yeah,
like I said, it's different. It's when you go into look, yeah, this is what I'm really doing, and I'm putting it on wax, and I'm trying to tell y'all to do this, and I don't give a blah blah blah. Then you taking this somewhere else. Like we compare some hip hop or conscious or just rappers in the general might talk about sniping and killing from a, you know, uh hitman and all that kind of perspective. But gangster rap, when you listen to like DJ Quick and things of that nature, somebody that's doing commentary on what they're seeing, dope. That's gangster, that's street rap. That's just hood stuff. Like I said, if you jump into, yeah, I don't even really be into this shit, but I want to put some lyrics on wax talking about how I just did these motherfuckers, blah 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 blah. That's something else. That's
But
yeah, you
then
doing something else.
that may be a real quote unquote gangbanger. Not to say these guys ain't gangsters or affiliated with gangbang stuff, but some of them dudes is just a gangbanger that know how to rap.
Right, but I'm saying that's what that is. That's a gangbanger that know how to rap versus saying that's an art form, right? You taking the art form and you turn it into uh basically shit. If they want to follow you up, you done turned it into a damn confession. Or you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You're doing something totally different at that point. That's what I'm saying. And then I mean, yeah, I won't get too far. To me,
No, but
like I said, I
that's a
get the
good
lyrics.
that's a good point because a lot of hip hop was heavily financed through the streets.
Yeah,
And the early 90s, the early to mid 90s is when the feds and the police made a hip hop department and they was deemed the hip hop police. And it is a
yeah,
real thing. You know, if you talk that life, I think the downside to it is my thing is if you could do it, you can do it. If you could rap, you can rap, right? And I
yeah.
get what you're saying though. It becomes something totally different once you infuse and it's some real and if it's more realness than entertainment involved with it, which leads
Right.
me to one of Quan lyrics where my
But
reality is your entertainment. But then that leads the police. You're leaving a heavy trail for the police. You're dropping
right.
breadcrumbs for the police to put the dogs, quote unquote.
Can
Now you're putting the scent out where the
something
police is
else.
going to be
Can,
looking at you, right?
can I give you an example? Right. This might make sense, might not. Right. Okay. Like you talked about rappers crossing the line into the gangster world and then saying
Crossing
certain
the
stuff
line.
and then getting caught up. Right.
Hmm.
So how doesn't that go both ways? Because if you sit there and you go from okay, so in the streets there's codes, there's X amount of people, you how people get on and all of this stuff, right?
Hmm.
Whoever, whatever age, whatever it is, that's a code that's in the street, right? But
Hmm.
if you decide to take that from where it was in the streets, get on wax and say, yeah, I told a no nigga how to get on, do. I put him on at this, and you tell the whole story of how the streets run. Now, isn't that
Hey,
a violation? Where does a violation stand at that point? You get what I'm saying? How is it cool for you to say and put the streets out there like that, but then it ain't cool for the rapper to go over there and talk about it? You see what I'm saying? So that should stay in certain stuff should
okay.
stay in the streets, is what I'm saying. Right? Some
Okay.
stuff don't need to
So
be on wax, in my opinion.
so you talk
That's what I'm
about
saying.
codes and unwritten rules,
Yes, but
and the
everybody's putting that on wax now. I mean, on wax. They're putting it out for
I
regular
think
rap consumption.
I think when they were doing that, they weren't thinking about the hip hop police. It didn't exist. They wasn't thinking that, oh, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law.
Right,
They wasn't thinking that because they was in a studio setting.
right.
They
Okay,
they
no, that's
didn't
true,
think,
right?
but then you have it's kind of tricky because you're right though. Then you'll have and the unwritten rule is it's a few unwritten rules out there, but still an unwritten
Mm,
rule is a rule nonetheless. However, they put themselves in a position where okay, you write a story about a real crime.
mm,
The big homies may think they might think that's dope. Oh, that's dope. That's tight. We relate to it. We relate to it until you get that somebody knock on
right,
the door and it's DTs, and you just gave up some information. You just opened up a cold case. I didn't think they looked at it as snitching at the time.
mm,
I didn't think they
right,
looked at it like that, but at the same time, because if you got big homies and homies that's putting in work, it's like you actually telling on the people that's putting in the work to
that's
finance
true.
your rap
But
career, yeah.
hmm no, that's true,
But
right? But go ahead.
go. No, go,
Finish.
go,
No,
go.
finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying though, I don't think they looked at it in hindsight that this can incriminate us. I think they was looking at
Right.
it like every dude on the street, that every dude that's on the street that's doing something they're not supposed to get money,
Hmm.
they want to be legal.
Right.
You understand
Okay.
what I'm saying? They
No,
want
I
to
got
be
that.
legal. And hip hop was a big route to be legal. But now say
Hmm.
you take a me or a boy wonder,
Hmm.
and we lyrical and we technical and we conscious and we busting these lyrics and dope lyrics, but then you got big homies that say, man, why don't you talk about well, A, B, and C and this, and that? And it's like
Right. So
I knew, I knew in my head, I'm not reciting none of this stuff. Are you kidding me? You know,
right.
go.
No, no, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, that's a point, and that's an aspect of it. All right. But what I'm saying is, if say like what happened to like a Tupac or a lot of guys that were lyricist rappers,
Ooh,
right?
this,
And then they went over here and they started talking too much about this over here, right? So then they crossed the line, right? They got caught up in something, right?
right.
So is it so are we to sit there and say, well, because these is gangsters, they can come over here and cross whatever lines they want and say whatever they want, but there's no violation on their side, right? It's just considered just gangster rap at that point. Like, where's the violation? Like, is it okay for you to put out certain coded stuff that should have stayed over here? You jumped into the rap game and put it out over here, caused whatever it caused. You see what I'm saying? Like, where is that? Is there or shouldn't there be some kind of if he can't cross this line and he violated by doing this, where's the line that's violating this that says, well, then you messing something up over here because you went too far with this. You get what I'm saying?
I
Does
get
that
you.
work?
I
Or is it
think,
one of them things where it's like, well, since I'm a gangster, then you shut up. You just I could do that. You can't do that over here though.
okay,
That's the
good
am I
question.
making sense?
I think you make a lot of
Mhm.
sense. I think let's take Ice Cube for instance.
Mhm.
Ice Cube had a genius about him where it was always third party. He wasn't talking about himself.
All right.
He wasn't the
Yeah,
dope
exactly.
man. He was talking
All right.
about the dope man. Hey, Mr. Dope Man, you think you slick. You sold drugs to my
Yeah.
sister and now she's sick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If she happened to die from one of your drugs, I'm putting in your nose as a 38.
38
But
slick.
at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time, Cube had a unique approach where he was third party witness,
Mhm.
kind of like Nas.
Right.
Nas is a third party witness to a lot of the stuff he spit, and a lot of people don't know that when you listen to him. But then there's MCs out there that's just reporting what they see. Where if you good enough of that, that's where the writing coming at, where you can write about some stuff, but you have to be good enough to be third party reporter where you're reporting and you're not the actual perpetrator. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think that's where
Big
the
part.
NWA and then the evolution of Death Row, where Suge was kind of smart at, where he made gangster music, but it wasn't gangster specific. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It wasn't gangster specific. It wasn't a street. It wasn't a block. It wasn't a territory. Because when you got Tupac and Snoop singing Gangster Party, the Cholos could party to it, the Essays, the Crips, the Bloods, the
Right.
mafia, everybody could, it wasn't specific. You know what I'm saying? Until that ever ended. And then that's when it became uh my neighborhood. And that even goes
Yeah.
for the East Coast too, when it became block specific. And then that's when it became, I think that's where the ego kicked in over the talent, and then the word keep it real really imposed itself in the music. And now it's like,
Went
well,
from
Dad, you got to
commentary
make
to
songs about what you doing. Like you got to keep it real. And if you're not putting in that work, we don't want to hear it. You
right. It
understand what
went
I'm
from
saying? You ain't
commentary
about that.
to yeah.
It went from commentary
So
to
you gotta be in it real. You gotta be living it and
fucking, what
shit.
do they call them people? Your co-defendant, like you actually
From
been
commentary to
involved.
combatant.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So it became entertainment. And then like, and to me, I look at it like Arnold
Mhm.
Schwarzenegger killed a lot of cops in his movie. It's a lot of movies that's cop killing. A lot of movies I like is
Mhm.
mafioso
Right.
movies and gangster movies and gangbang movies. I like about I like movies about money, murder, and mayhem.
Mhm.
And then as an MC, I like lyrical, technical, conscious, gangster. I like a lot of facets of music. But
Right.
then there's some people that is shy away from that. Be like, oh, I don't mess with that. I mess with this. But that's people preference. But I think it went from
Yeah.
commentary to
To comparison.
competitiveness, and I think to keep it
And
real and to be
can I?
real, huh?
One thing on the movies, like in a movie analogy, maybe I might be missing hitting the mark, but
Mm,
it's like saying like you like gangsters, I like mafioso to monster movies to whatever to other movies, right? But then if you decide to take documentaries and then pass it off on a big feature film and glorify, what I mean, and pump it up like you would do a big film, but it's actual real documentary. And then you make that your genre. Then that's the thing I'm saying. That's where you changing it from. Yeah, let me tell the story. Let me tell the story of mafioso. Let me tell the story about this. Now we're gonna say, nah, we only doing true stories, but we gonna make it like a damn action flick, like a Fast and
right.
Furious. You see what I'm saying? But it's a
Yeah.
true story. That's where you kind of you blurring the line, in my
I
opinion.
think the downside
Mhm.
to reality rap or gangster rap is a lot of them, even hustle, even when you hustle rap, peace to Ice T. Ice T to me
Yeah.
probably one of the first
First,
hustler
yeah.
MCs out there. But I think when it
Mhm.
comes down to it, it's like you tell the people all the money you making off cocaine, but you ain't telling them what happens at the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
It's like even with the gangster life, even with back to
Mhm.
the movies, even though it's killing and cop killing and it's a whole bunch of crime, it's still a morality tale in Hollywood. At the end of the movie, the bad
Mhm.
guys going to jail. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
if you making these songs and you don't have the bad ending to it, I
Yeah,
think 90% is
yeah,
fake. I think
that's a good point. Yeah.
I think 90% of a lot of those records is fantasy. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all come from the streets and ain't no real street dudes out there really incriminating themselves like that. You know what I mean? But at the
Yeah.
same time, I do believe it's a level of talent and it's a lot of gangster rappers that's very lyrical out there.
Before I
Spice
forget,
One from the
hey,
Bay Area is
before we forget, I ain't mean to cut you off. We got to
go
remember
for it.
one that's like a major Cam, man. If we can't forget Cam, shit.
Cam is
Cam
a
was way
conscious.
was yeah, but before when Cam first came out, Cam was like um kind of come street, but you know, and then he moved further more into conscious. But when Cam came out, he was straight gangster, but he was a conscious. He had a
I
conscious
think
essence to him. Mhm.
I think Cam I think Cam first single was Peace Treaty.
Yeah,
You
and
know what
then
I'm
he had
saying?
Woo.
And
Remember, Woo, Woo,
that's afterwards. That's the Ice Cube disc with
oh,
DJ
Lash
Pooh
dropped out.
produced it and shot
Hold
the
on, let's
video.
see.
Um but Cam to me, let me kick back.
Can you hear
Cam,
me?
I can hear you talking to Legend.
Oh, oh, hold on. Let's switch up.
Cam is also a lyrical
Mhm.
MC, and Cam is a
Let me go back in.
what happened? He popped out.
Yo, Lash, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, where we
Can you
at,
hear me,
Cam?
Lash?
Yeah,
Yep.
we talking about
I
Cam.
might have to
Cam,
hop out for a second.
um,
Shit.
I think what Cam comes from the streets. I think the hip hop part of, I think just being an MC alone, just being a rapper alone, you coming from some type of street element, right? It don't necessarily have to be your particular style because you could be the most lyrical MC on the planet. You still come from the streets, right? But Cam is street influenced, but he's also fruit of Islam. So I think Cam really brought the nation of Islam in on. I think Cam to me was can be considered like a West Coast Chuck D, but different production styles and different messaging, but the same concept. It could be the same messaging, but the different delivery. But you know what I'm saying, he wore the pro club t-shirts. He came in with the khakis. You can't escape how you was raised. So it wasn't like he was faking. You understand what I'm saying? But Cam to me is one of those conscious MCs. I would put Cam more as a conscious rapper than a gangster rapper, but he's one of the same. You understand what I'm saying? Keep in mind, uh, Malcolm X ran with street dudes before he became Malcolm X. And those Christians out there, you know, Christ ran, you know, Paul was a Christian murderer before he became one of his disciples. So you're gonna always have a street element in your messaging because do-gooders don't really need your messaging. It's the people out there, the sheep that you're trying to bring in. And I would say as far as Cam came in with a message, and Cam came in at the right time of hip hop. It's just that it didn't work out with the deal with Ice Cube. And Cam will let you know, uh, the W don't stand for your group, it stand for Watts. It didn't stand for, you know what I'm saying? When everybody started throwing up the W, I think when people started doing this was a safe way for people to gangbang because it's not specific, but it's still twisting your fingers, right? So everybody can see walk and
West
throw up the
Side, yeah.
W. People could be walk and throw up the W, and they're not really specific. But I think when it came into the when came into play, still to make these gangster raps or these quote unquote
Man,
gangster
man,
rap reality
hold
raps,
on.
I would put Cam up there as a conscious and a lyrical MC. And the Whoop Whoop was the Ice Cube disc that came after his first album. You know what I'm saying? That was the you all over the place, Vicious.
Well, Lash dropped out. I dropped out, so I'm just listening to y'all on the
I
Okay.
hear you.
playback.
No, I just think I would put Cam on. I think Cam was accepted by a lot of as well as Q put Cam on, Q put Yo Yo on. Speaking of female MCs last week, Yo Yo's another one of them females that was positive. She turned bitch into an acronym.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think Cube probably was heavily influenced by the Nation or the Fruit of Islam by Cam via through Cam. You know what I mean? And he turned them on to that, and the Nation got up under Cube and taught him some lessons. Which, like I said before, Cube had a genius way of writing those songs third party. You understand what I'm saying? And it could be entertaining to some, but lo and behold, Big Brother's always watching. Big Brother's always listening. So when they was listening, they might have said, "Hey, run that back." And a lot of cases were solved because in the sense of you can get too loose. You can start feeling good from your first single. Like, ooh, that felt good. I sold 300,000. I'm about to sell another. I'm about to go gold. And then you fuck around and give a tidbit on some real crimes. And that goes back to your original question. To me, is that snitching? Yes. That could be considered snitching, dry snitching, no matter how you say it. You know, even Tupac had a lyric, and I'm wearing the t-shirt when he said, I know dope being sold, but I ain't the one selling. You understand what I'm saying? So he's telling them, I know dope is being sold, but I ain't the one selling. So everybody got, not everybody. When you in that environment, you're trying to please the person that's paying the tab. And then a lot of people that was paying the tab, 8 times out of 10 was breaking the law. A high percent of the people was breaking the law. And this is even before hip hop. This goes back in the 70s. Gangsters always been involved with music, you know,
Right.
but at the same time, it's like a lot of these a lot of these quote unquote gangster rappers are lyrical MCs and they have talent. Like when you break it down to it, like when we go back to Quick, people look at Quick as a producer. And Quick may be in somebody's top five and he may not be in somebody's top five. Quick may not be in somebody's top five, and Black Thought from the Roots may not be in somebody top five. Two different type of rappers, two incredible MCs. Now Black Thought's not to go to Philly, but Black Thought's incredible MC, and I never heard Black Thought in people top five. So
Yeah.
Never.
Uh,
and then because people they always move the goalposts, and I think it's sad that they give us a top five, like top five dead or alive. That's tricky. You know,
Somebody got
right.
feedback. Who was
that
that?
might be. Check, check, check. Oh, that might have been me. Was that me?
That was you, Cuddy.
Is it still feedback? I can't even hear nobody now. That wasn't.
That was me with the feedback, but I heard everything y'all was saying. Yeah,
Oh, that
top
was
five
you.
changes from time to time.
Top
Depending on who
five
you are
change.
and who you like. You know, it's the same with producers. You know what I mean? Top fives, but as far as lyricists, it's a preference, man. It's like
It's preference
if you're on the conscious side, then your top five is gonna look totally different from someone that's more of a I like
on the
both
gangster
street
side,
and universal, or
right?
hood stuff. Uh, like Legend, I'm pretty sure your top five dancers is different than V Love or Craig. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or
Definitely.
um, yeah. So, but
Uh,
it's subjective. There might be one at the pinnacle that everybody might agree upon if you came down to it, but overall, it's like I said, it's subjective. Some people do some clown show top fives, but yeah, overall, it's some
Well,
subjective.
yeah, they're going. People just play with it. People gonna say anything. You know what I'm saying? People will say anything just for the sake of saying it, man. People don't even people top five really. I think a lot of people top five is really irrelevant because it's preference. I think it's really preference, and I think it ostracizes the culture as itself. It's easy to tear the culture down. To say, all right, give me your top five, lads. Give me your top five, Dad. That's kind of unfair because you be like, top five win. Top five old school, top five retro, top five new school, top five West Coast, top five London. It's MCs everywhere. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Top five New
it's
York.
true. Just to give
Hey,
a
well,
quick dance shout out as a MC that you mentioned earlier. I could watch them dance just as much as Michael Jackson, Sammy Davis, whoever. It's damn Yo-Yo. I could watch Yo-Yo dance all night, Cuddy. She danced so hood fly. It
Right.
blows me away.
Yeah. Yo Yo made a big impact. You know what I'm saying? She
Mhm.
made a big impact in the game. And and what you was about to say, Les? Say it.
I say that was feedback.
Oh, no, she made a great impact, and she uplifted females and made them feel like you don't have to be a groupie, you don't have to be a bitch, you don't have to be a hoe. You could
hey,
run your own business.
that's me with that feedback. I was gonna say though, I don't mean to cut y'all off.
Go.
The one constant in hip hop, as far as lyricists, rappers, the one that always lands in the top two or three, most of the time the one is Rakim. Other than that, everything else is subjective. Rock tends to land in the top one or two, maybe three at the lowest. But you know,
But not to
in
throw
my
the
opinion,
game
that's what I
off, but
usually hear.
like, especially later on now in our careers, I love hearing people's top fives from other states. Not to throw our conversation off, but it's
Right.
really interesting. Like my boy from one of my favorite football players had what's that? What they call from Florida, Poison X Clan,
You talk about is it Menace Clan? They from Texas? What did you say? They're from Florida? Menace Clan?
Poison Clan or Menace Clan. They're from Florida. Well, man had him they like number one, like over Rakim and everybody. I was like, wow, but that's what he grew up on. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're in Florida, I'm pretty sure Trick Daddy in they top five. Not to
I think
laugh
he
at Trick
was.
Daddy.
He was
Yeah, I
up in
bet you. Yeah, yeah. But I bet you Trick Daddy in that top five. Ain't
yeah,
nothing mad at that. I'm not mad at that because it's regional, and
yeah.
it's all preference based when it comes to top five. But at the same time, it cuts the culture down.
Mm-hmm.
Even what we talking about, we bridging the gap between two different sides. Where Akil was one of the guests from Jurassic 5, and Akil and Glasses Malone made a song, and they're like, how can Akil and Glasses Malone make a song? And okay, Glasses Malone come from a gang territory, but Glasses Malone is also an MC to me. He's also a lyrical MC. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't hard to put a manslaughter with the MC8. It ain't hard to put a fuck a K born with a DJ Quick. It's not impossible. I think it's just that some people make it impossible to be like, what are you over there with them for? What do you? I think that's a gangster mentality within itself. In the West Coast, people, believe it or not, all these crews that we grew up with, we all grew up with some type of gangster mentality. If we making music over here, we not doing music over there. We go out to do shows, them the ops. You understand what I'm saying? We had beefs, and we had, even the conscious MCs, we went out there with beefs. And then if you see conscious MCs today, they're gonna throw their flag up, or they're gonna talk about their neighborhood freely nowadays, opposed to when they were younger. You know what I'm saying? I think when you're younger, and I'm gonna just speak from my crew, when we were younger, we wanted to change the world, if not just one person. You know what I'm saying? We believe, wonder, rest in peace. If we could change one person, if we could turn one person into an incredible MC, I think we did our job. And that's what we used to think. That's what, not even think, that's what we believe. We all come from we all came from highly active neighborhoods and blocks and turfs and territories. Everybody come from that volatile, active toxicity. We all come from we was a misguided generation. You know what I'm saying? And we gravitated to making money, and we gravitated to hip hop. And when I say we, I'm talking about everyone, not
Mm-hmm.
just us. We gravitated to the fast cars, to that life, to what we seen. You understand what I'm saying? But then we made our separations, and we made conscious decisions on, this is what we're gonna carve. This is the lane we're gonna carve. This is where we want to be remembered in time. This is the integrity that we want to hold, the standard up this high. Some people brought their integrity down this low and didn't have nothing come from it. You know, understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like to me, it's one and the same. It's like the Matrix when they told Neo, you and the agent is the beginning and end is no different. It's the same. At the end of the day, to your real ops, to the real oppressor, to the people that's really manipulating the whole show, we're one and the same. Either you selling or you're not selling. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line, when you're dealing with this industry, the bottom line is going to always be the bottom line. But your integrity is yours. It's yours to compromise. Like Dev said earlier, it's one thing about commentating the neighborhood, but then it's another thing actually telling what the homies is out there doing. What type of activities you really involved with. Because now you are crossing codes, you're breaking unwritten rules, uh, and some things you really shouldn't be talking about in
Or
the first
just doing
place.
the wrong shit.
Come on, man.
Definitely.
Being
And me,
affiliated is worse.
yeah, me being a civilian and write hood novels, and I never like tell a story
Yeah.
straight up ever.
Hey, I got a
Never.
serious delay, so y'all just let y'all know.
What happened?
What's some common saying up there, Dev? Is Debo hip?
Huh?
You know what
No, man,
no,
I'm saying
Debo.
I'm delayed like a mug, but I interrupted last. You said you did a lot of hood stories, but you never got
Yeah,
into the other
I
side
didn't
of it.
feel comfortable doing that like that. That would be crazy.
There's a lot. I mean, I think King T actually. I think King T, Ice Cube, and it's another one that's incredible that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's MC Ren from NWA. To me, Ren was dope, and Ren had an incredible voice. You know what I'm saying? And Ren influenced it. He made, these guys made
Yeah.
gangster rappers better, regardless how they telling the story. They made them better lyrically. They had to do better. Ice Cube made these dudes. Ice Cube put a lot of people on, and they made Cube better. You understand what I'm saying? And then, not to take away from Cube genius, but Cube is known for stealing. So Cube stole concepts from a lot of people. Not going to get into that. And Cube, he don't care because a lot of those artists stole. LL Cool J stole. A lot of people stole. A lot of people stole because they had the accessibility to put the music out fast. You know what I mean? So let MC Shan told it LL stole. Right? Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of things out there, but that really falls on Rick Rubin. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's going into the death row era where Drake got a new camp. He got a new camp, but he kept a couple of vets around him. DOC. DOC is another incredible uh lyricist, quote unquote gangster rapper artist. One of the most amazing voices. And he hails out of Texas as well. And he wrote a lot of stuff. After one of their main writers left, they had to lean on DOC. And then when DOC lost his voice, you know what I mean? All he had was his pen game left, and he was able to coach a Snoop and a Corrupt and a Daz. You understand what I'm saying? And then I think Long Beach came into play, and Long Beach got a lot of dope lyricists out there. And Crooked Eye to me is an incredible MC. You know what I mean? People may call him what they want: gangster, lyrical, reality, technical. Some MCs are that they can juggle it, and they can do quite a few things. You know what I'm saying? Some MCs stick strictly to tradition. You know what I'm saying? But then some MCs also stick to tradition in a gangster category. You know what I mean? Like me personally, either you singing or you rapping. There's so many categories for just hip hop nowadays. Is mind blowing. And I'm gonna always say no one ever sold to everyone. So it's a genre out there for everybody. I don't care if you are 10 years old, 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't care how old you are. It's a niche for you. It's a crowd for you. It's people that want to be entertained. It's a whole generation of people that's not listening to the Migos. Rest in peace, Takeoff. It's a whole generation that's not listening to Kodak Black. And it's a whole generation that's not listening to Megan Thee Stallion, nor are they listening to Cardi B. They, right. Oh, that's super feedback.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up because Dev will have to drop the whole thing to get back in.
Is that right?
Yeah. He just sent me a telegram.
He sent you a telegram. He didn't send me one. Oh yeah, he did. Hold on one
Yeah.
second. Let me read this live. I got some hot
Yeah, I'm
news.
completely out. I
Let me
can't get
let me
back
see.
in
Oh,
unless I
you
drop
back
the
in?
stream and get
Be
back in.
straight.
Well, look,
Shit.
ladies and gentlemen, we still talking about it. We still in the early 90s. We definitely got a evolution of West Coast hip hop series, gangster conscious, technical, lyrical, and we haven't even got into the 93, 92 era. So at the same time, tune in next week, same mental lab channel, same mental lab time. Uh
Hey,
Legendaro,
I want to leave on some fun though. Since we talking about
go.
evolution, Dev, first producer name, K-Born, first rap name, Legend, first dance name. Let's go. My first dance name was Dr. Popper.
Well, believe it or not, K-Born has always been my name. It's been my first rap name and it's been my last rap name.
Really?
Actually, it's been
Wow.
my street name. I got it
So
from the guys.
who was the fluctuator before the fluctuator?
Oh yeah, he got
I was
go
devastating Double D if y'all can hear me.
Double D.
That's right. He's a little double D's. That should be classic.
Hey, but wait, Dev was an MC.
What was your MC name?
He just told you.
Oh, wow. Oh, no,
He went like this. Yeah, but as far as
There's
me,
the
it's been
evolution.
so was popping your first name and then you went into another
All right,
name and then
fellas.
another name?
That's
Dr.
funny.
Popper. That was my
Dr.
popping name. Yeah.
Wait a minute, real quick. Did you get that from Dr. Pepper?
Yes.
Okay. At least you didn't say, nah, I didn't come up with that.
Yes, I did.
All right. Peace out. See y'all next week, party people. Oh, be on the
Hey.
lookout for the balance. The balance is dropping soon.
Mm,
Be on the lookout for the Young Lokes. That's coming soon on Tubi. We're gonna definitely keep y'all tuned in.
yes, sir.
We also working on a new single right now. We shooting a video to it. Be on the lookout. Stay tuned, tune in. I want you to like, comment, share, subscribe. I need y'all to do all those things. Stall off on that like button if you like what we hear. If you like what we said tonight, stall off on that like button. Come back next week and stall off on that like button again.
Peace.
And what did Eric B and Rakim said at the end of the record?